got to continue to get better. We got to tackle better, pay attention to detail a little bit better. As I said yesterday, we didn't get it done. We still got some work to do, and we're going to keep working at it.
What do you see as the issues regarding tackling, and how do you work on that?
You work on it that one day when you get to wear pads. You just make it an emphasis. It's like anything else. If you want to get something fixed, you got to work at it. And we plan on doing that. We'll have we're not going to do too much different. We're just going to make a huge emphasis on making sure we get around the ball.
Is that only the one day? Is that an issue with it, you think?
Not going to make that an excuse. No.
So the injuries, you said that Gordon had a hand, and I believe it was...
Yeah, Gordon broke his hand, okay? And then Michael Bush had an ankle, and we'll continue. I mean, obviously he came back in and played. Gordon did, so we'll just continue to monitor it as we go through this week, him, Bush, and the rest of the crew, and kind of go from there.
So Gordon isn't necessarily out even though...
No, I don't think so. I mean, he came back and played, so we'll just kind of keep, he had that big cast on his hand. His hand was wrapped up pretty good, and he came back in there and kept playing, so we'll go from there.
That help him that he's doing a lot of fullback things, too, where he doesn't necessarily need to catch the ball?
Yeah, I think so. It'll allow him to continue to play and continue to contribute to this team.
What about Marcel this week? You think he'll get him back?
I think there's a chance. I mean, obviously, we're not out on the field today, but, I mean, he's walking around pretty good and looks good. So once we get these guys back out there on Wednesday, I have a more clear picture of who's going to be there.
Do you guys consider putting Route on Welker more often? He's only on him a few times. Do you consider having him follow him around, or?
No, not really. I mean, if we needed to, we could have. That wasn't the issue. I mean, sometimes when you're, you're fixing one problem, another problem leaks. You spring another leak someplace else. So I don't think that necessarily was it. Like I said, I think Wes was a really good player. I think Tom's a really good player. They did a good job. They executed better than we did.
Is there something to be gained from playing a team that exhibited that much balance against you this week, and then going into an opponent that's also showing a lot of balance and also has the run-pass mix that you're going to see?
I think every opportunity we get to go play, there's experience to be gained. We're a 2-2 football team. We're 500. We're going back on the road to Houston. As you said, they're a very balanced football team. They run it, they throw it. We just seen that this past week. I don't think Houston's going to make any bones about what they do. They're going to run the ball. They're very good at it. And the quarterback's a very good player, and they're very good at receiver. So, again, another tall task. And bottom line, we just got to go execute and play Raider football in order to get this job done.
You talk about the process out there. So where, after Sunday's game, is the team in that process, and what was your message to the players last night and then today while watching film?
That we're a 500 football team, and that we can get better and we will get better. And as I told them, it starts with me, and it kind of trickles down. But I have an expectation for this football team, for this organization. I'm not going to back off of that, and we're gonna get this thing right. And I think they felt my message just as they did the last time when we came up short. And we're going to go out there and we're going to go to work on Wednesday, and we're going to fix this thing. I guarantee you that. It's not where I want it to be, and not where I have any doubt in my mind that we can't fix it. We're going to fix it, and we have just the men to do it. What we got to do is go out there and do it consistently, play in and play out. There's flashes of brilliance of this football team, whether it be offense or defense or special teams. And then all of a sudden, sometimes things don't go the way we want them to. So what we got to do is become a very consistent football team, and I think we can, and I think we will.
Expectation-wise, Hue, where are you guys right now at the quarter point of the season, as far as what you expected at this point?
I expected to be 4-0. I really did. I mean, I'm not going to back off of that, and we're not. We're 2-2, so I'm disappointed, but not discouraged. Because I know what's in the locker room. I've said this before. I have to keep coaching and keep teaching and keep pushing and keep grinding on these players. And these players got to keep responding. And they've responded every time I've asked them to. Maybe not as fast as I want them to. Maybe not as fast as everybody wants them to. But I know the message is there, and it's clear. And I think they know what needs to happen. And I trust them that they will get it done. I mean, we have a great group of leaders in that room. And I call on them, and I call on the rest of our football team and our coaching staff. I mean, we're not backing down from what the expectation is here by no stretch of the imagination. It's not going to change. We're going to win the AFC West. We're going to do everything we can, get in that playoffs, and go challenge for a Super Bowl. I am not backing down from that.
Well, you'd prefer to never find out how a team reacts after a loss yesterday. If anybody was complaining about the officials, I didn't hear it. If anybody was pointing fingers, I didn't see it. I mean, it was a little bit different. There was a little bit of that after the Buffalo game that you addressed. Do you think that message obviously got through?
We keep talking about a process. Everything's a process, and we're going to do the things here the right way. And we're not going to, we lost. We can't undo that. We lost to a team that was better than us yesterday, and they won. Hopefully we'll see them down the road somewhere. But I still believe that we have to do things the right way, being off the field or on the field, to get to where we want to go. And we got a lot of work to do, and I think we know that. I don't think we run from that. We run to it. And our players are disappointed too. They wanted to be better in the first quarter of the season, second quarter as we call it, the second quarter of the season, because the preseason was the first quarter, and we're in the second quarter of the season. We wanted to be better than 2-2, better than 500, but that's what we are, so we got to take it. So now we head to the third quarter of the season, and we got some work to do and to get done.
Coach, what do you think about the fact that the first and third games you got great pressure on the quarterback, yet the second and fourth games not a lot of pressure on the quarterback? How do you solve that?
You just go back to work. Obviously, the New England team did a good job again. They blocked us pretty well. The ball got out, but there's some things we can do better too. And again, that's that attention to detail thing that I'm talking about from everybody. Sometimes it only takes one person, for things not to look right, be it offensively, defensively, or special teams. It's not 10. Sometimes just one, one guy that maybe missed something just a little bit that can make it look like everybody don't understand what's going on. So we just got to make sure that we tighten up those loose ends, just make it a little bit tighter around here, and we will.
You mentioned that getting better being the key ingredient here, but as far as the run defense, giving up a few big plays there, what would you say specifically the areas that lent to that you do need to get better at?
Well, you just said it. You said a few big plays. As an offensive coach, that's what I want you to say, because that's all it takes. I'm not looking, every play is not going to go for 30, 40 yards. All I need is a couple big plays, and all of a sudden we rush the ball for however many yards. So that's what I'm trying to make sure we all understand as a defensive football team and as an offensive football team. You want the defensive coordinator to say, well, hey, we played good for 60 snaps, but there was about 6 snaps. Well, we would have did that better. We wouldn't have gave up a lot of yards. Well, I love that. I'll take that any day, just like on offense. Well, we had 4 or 5 runs for 40-plus yards. I mean, it all plays hand in hand. What we got to do is play very consistent, very relentless, with a lot of energy and passion every down, from the first snap to the last snap. That's what we need to become, and that's a process, and I'd be the first to tell you that. I want it to be faster than what it is, but I tell you this much, I think our players understand what it's going to take, and by no means, like I said, am I discouraged. I'm disappointed. I don't like losing. I don't like losing at home, in front of you guys, in front of our fans, in front of anyone. I just don't like losing. It doesn't sit well with me. So I don't like it, and so in order to fix it, you got to do something about it, and we will.
Up until just before halftime, Campbell was moving really well. He was getting out of trouble. He was making quick decisions. He seemed to be just cutting loose. Did you think that after the interception, he changed, that he lost a little confidence, that things kind of got off kilter for him, or do you think he shook that off?
I think he shook it off. I mean, that's not the first interception Jason Strong, very bad timing, wish we had that one back, but I don't think so. Jason's a pro. He's been at this for a while. It didn't come up aces for him the other day. He's going to live to fight another day, and he'll learn from that experience too. And we'll keep growing, as far as that's concerned, the scoring zone. When we went into the game, we were one of the best teams in football in the scoring zone, scoring touchdowns. And, and if we do what we're supposed to do, I mean, maybe that's a different game, but we didn't. So, like I said, kudos to New England. They got it done. We didn't.
Does having a tight end who can get downfield like Boss open things up for you guys offensively?
Yeah, I mean, again, as earlier in the week, as you guys stated, he's another weapon for us. You know, he did some good things, and hopefully it'll ease a little pressure here and there off of some of the other guys. But we just got to continue to keep putting this offense together, keep putting these young men in positions to make plays, you know, when they can. And his number was called yesterday, and he made them. You know, Jacoby's was called one time, he made them. Darius Hayward-Bay made some plays. Darren McFadden. We need to continue to grow this group of very talented, skilled young men so that we become a consistent unit at all times.
Where's Go ahead. Along those lines, just following up on DHB and what you saw from him yesterday, he really just seems to be asserting himself in those plays, and seems like the confidence and the chemistry with Jason showing out there. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I see the same things. I don't know if it's confidence. I think those guys have always had that. I just think now, you know, the number is being called, and there's a tremendous amount of trust among that whole group, because now we're heading into week 5 now. You know, there's been a preseason, and there's been a training camp. So I think now everybody's getting comfortable. You kind of know your role. You know, and now everybody's doing their job to the best of their ability, and he's done a good job. I mean, Darius Hayward-Bay made some plays yesterday. There's some plays he wished he had back, but he made some plays also, and so did Jason.
Where's Rolando McClain in terms of being a defensive playmaker? Not only just a leader out there as the quarterback of the defense, but as being a defensive playmaker.
I think he has a lot of responsibility. You know, he's making calls and doing all the things that middle linebackers do. You know, he's really an extension of the defensive coordinator. So he has to make sure that we get everybody on the same page. On top of that, go be the type of player that we all know he can be. And again, it goes back to that consistency, and that's what I'm talking about everywhere, whether it be the quarterback, middle linebacker, the line, the D-line, everybody. I mean, we just got to become a very consistent football team. But I think he's doing fine. We all wish he had, you know, that he made more plays. We all do. Every player wish they made more plays. You want to go home feeling like you were the player of the game, you know, when you play. But we need to turn it up. My message, you guys really want to know my message to them today, was we need to take it to another level. Everybody, coaches, players, everybody. We're going to take this thing to another level because we need to, and we will.
As a coach, are you searching for new ideas, ways to solve the penalty problem?
Oh, yes, I am. There's no question. I mean, it is what it is. You know, what I mean by that, those penalties that were called. And like I told you, I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, well, this one was a bad one, this one was a good one. Doesn't matter. They called them. And I think we're addressing it. You know, we have officials at practice. We pay attention to it. Sometimes people are human, you know. Sometimes there are calls that you say, well, which one was that one? Where did that come from? And sometimes there are calls that they're dead on. But I'm not going to ever let our team or myself get into, well, this one should be this one should be that. We're going to continue to work at it. We're going to get better at it. The offense had 2 penalties, and one we can fix like that, a legal substitution penalty. And the other one was just a young man, Jared Veldier, making a block, you know, that gets his head, I'm talking about inches in front. It's not called. So that was a penalty of, to me, that's going to happen. You know, the other ones on defense, the offsides, lining up offsides, we can fix that. You know, that's disappointing. We can fix that, and that's easy solvable. The one with Richard, I mean, they called it. You know, the one that they didn't call on Jacoby, they picked up the flag. You know, so I don't know how to undo that. Then just get really, really good. Become a really good football team and not have that be an issue.
You've named challenges after a win or a loss. How do you, are we a game away from hitting those or attacking those challenges head on and getting back to consistency, like you say, of winning?
Oh yeah, we're not going to run from the opportunity to get better. And when you say consistency, because that's what I'm talking about across the board, coaches, players, everybody. And I think that's going to be the mantra this week. We got to become consistent in everything that we do when it comes to the details, and then we got to finish them. And I think what we need to really concentrate on is playing like a Raider. You know, the thing we keep talking about week in and week out. And we're close, but we're not there. And what I have to do as a head coach is keep driving that point home. You know, you get what you emphasize, and that's what we're going to continue to emphasize, and we will get better at it.